Have you met Wings before, like in person?
I've never met Wings in person.
Yeah,
before.
man, that's an experience. Like the first time you meet Wings it's an experience.
What's experiencing about it?
You just got to be in the guy's presence. Yeah, I feel like you spend some time with him, you get a whole new appreciation for Wings. You see what he's all about, because seeing him on the internet just doesn't do it justice. When you're there with him in person, and you can't just turn the video off. He's just going to keep going.
There's two Wings. There's the Wings out of his element. Like when I saw him in California, he was sensitive and vulnerable, dressed nice. He's going out clothes and thoughtful. That's the Wings out of his element. And then there's the Wings at home, right? And there you have like Gangster Grandma and Bastard Brooke, I think, was there at the time, and all sorts of Sister, and bit actors in the Wings universe that you're unfamiliar with, and he's bouncing back and forth between them and you.
Wings will tear you down personally at the drop of a hat, and you would think someone who lived in such a glass house would be polite and never point out someone else's flaws. He will go after you immediately about the most personal of things. My friend Jeremy comes over, and Jeremy lives for his pickup truck, but it's not a real Z71. It's just got the stickers. Immediately, Wings is like, it's not a real Z71. That's this and that. You don't even have a real truck. And this is a guy who lives for his truck. You know what he said to me as soon as we got in my car and went somewhere? Like, he'd been there like a day. I thought you were bigger than this. On the internet, it looks like you've got some big jacked arms. You look good, but I don't know. And I'm thinking, like, are you really picking on my physical appearance right now as I drive your 440-pound ass to go get some shake weights? Are you really doing this right now, bro? Because, like, I will beat you up right here at Dick's Sporting Goods. I will hit you once, make you chase me for 5 minutes, and you'll pass out. Stop.
You know what I thought was...
He does it all the time.
Wings used to stack rank us from fattest to thinnest on the show all the time.
I had no clue.
And he'd always get it wrong. Like, it was interesting to me that, like, he couldn't tell Kyle, Lefty, and me heaviest to thinnest, and never seemed to know. And it's like a projected body dysmorphia. I don't know what to call it, but when you literally can't tell which person's fatter than the other. And Lefty, if you don't know, like, the reason he never came to the paintball things or anything is he was embarrassed of his body. He's a big guy. And but so he would just show neck up, and that's it. The reason you never saw him stand on camera is because he didn't want to be seen. Every time he left camera, he'd do it like this, and then he'd get up and walk away. He did that forever. People thought he was in a wheelchair. It was a running joke. He was.
And we propagated the rumor.
Yeah, and of course we ran with that racist wheelchair.
I thought he was actually in a wheelchair for the longest time.
Did you really?
Yeah. Because I wasn't involved in the show till I got brought back on as a host, and I would check in every once in a while and be like, man, that's crazy, good for Lefty, fighting through adversity.
Yeah. But then Wings,
just because he can't stand.
So that's who Lefty was, right? He's always sort of fighting the battle of the bulge, and Wings would have no idea. Like he would think Lefty was the thinnest of the group sometimes, or the heaviest of the group. He never knew. And I always thought that was interesting. Like, he's just having a hard time seeing who's who.
Wings is a different guy. That's what makes Wings so interesting and fun and entertaining, is because he is a real outsider. He's not like us. He's almost like not human. And I don't mean that to be an insult or anything, but he comes at things in a way that the average rational human being wouldn't come at things. And he comes away from things with conclusions that the average rational human being wouldn't either. And when you live your whole life like that, you've got just so many ridiculous stories and opinions on things, and that's what Wings is. So what I was getting at is you need to hang out with Wings in person and see what it's all about. It's a real good time.
Yeah, well, you didn't make it sound like that. You made it sound like I'm going to meet him and he's going to immediately start berating me.
Oh, he might. Like he really will. He'll these little jabs and stuff. He does it to everyone.
He hasn't done it to me, but I don't feel safe because I think
he totally
will.
Has. He said you didn't have a personality.
Oh, not in person, but he did say that. Yeah. He's like, the reason people don't.
He said it in person.
Did he?
He said it on the show. Yeah.
He
said, we just have personality, and went on at length about how you didn't have one and how you didn't have any real opinions. Yeah, he's mean to everybody, man.
I mean, as long as he can, if he's dishing it if you dish it back to him, as long as he takes that, it's just kind of good-natured
you have
ribbing.
the rules wrong. No, that's not how you play. No.
Well, I don't know him half as well.
You receive the berating.
Yeah, Wings is the pitcher. Wings doesn't like to catch disapproval. But I really like Wings because deep down, Wings seems to be like a genuinely kind-hearted, good intending guy. So yeah, I'd like to hang out with Wings again. I'd like to see what he's up to, talk to him personally, because you're never really getting the full deal on the internet through his videos, podcast, or whatever you might see him. I like to see him in person, and you get a whole other side of Wings, and it's interesting. I don't know what else to say about it. Every time I hang out with Wings, I come away with it thinking like, that was an experience. All right, now I got some more stories.